Okay, so we will start going through the term test paper. First of all, we will go through part 1. So in part 1, we know we have 20 short form questions. 20 short form questions. Okay. First one, select and underline the improper fractions from the following. Right? So we have been given 5 fractions. Right. So these are the fractions that have been given to us. So we have to pick the improper fractions. Right. So before we move forward, first of all, we have to remind ourselves regarding what are improper fractions. Right. So I have written 2 fractions. First one, that is 10 by 3, and the other one, it is 3 by 10. Here the numerator is 10. The denominator is 3. Here the numerator is 3 and the denominator is 10. If we compare this fraction, the first one, which is 10 by 3, right? The numerator is 10 and the denominator is 3. Numerator is larger than the denominator. Numerator ප්‍රමාණයෙන් විශාලයි denominator එකට වැඩිය. Right? But take a look at this fraction. The numerator is what? 3 and the denominator is 10. Right? Here, numerator is smaller than the denominator. Right? So 10 by 3. Now these are what? These are improper fractions. 3 by 10, these are proper fractions. හරි අපි එතනින් ඉස්සරහට අපි question එකට යන්න, right? So when we talk about types of fractions, actually we need to know total of 5 types of fractions. හරි? එතකොට ඒ පහෙන් දෙකක් තමයි මම මෙතන කතා කරේ improper fractions and proper fractions. Right. So these are the given fractions. So we have to select which fractions are improper fractions, right? So 2 by 3, it is not an improper fraction, it is a proper fraction, right? So 7 by 5, it is a improper fraction. So next we have what? A mixed number. Then this is what? Improper fraction. This is also what? Proper fraction. So 7 by 5 and 5 by 4, those are the correct responses. Right. So for the first question, you will be getting 1 mark for each correct response. So for 7 by 5, you get 1 mark. For 5 by 4, you get another 1 mark. Altogether, you will be getting 2 marks. Question number 2, simplify. So in this mathematical expression, we have what? An addition and also what? A multiplication. So we know we have to do the multiplication part first. So 4 into 2, what is that? 8. To that we have to add a 2. So the answer is what? 10. Question number 3. Find the value of positive 2 plus negative 3 using the number line. So we have to do an addition, right? So we have a 2 plus negative 3. So this is a positive 2. Positive 2. Right? This is a positive 2. Okay. So this is the number line. We know all positive numbers are positioned on the right side from origin and all negative numbers are positioned on the left side from the origin. Right? Okay. So first of all, we will mark positive 2, right? So positive, that means this number should be marked on the right hand side, right? So 2 units from the origin, right? So from here to here. Then we have an addition. We are adding what? A negative 3. When we add negative numbers, we know we have to go to the left side. So at the moment we are here, we have to go to the left side, right? How many units? 3 units. So 1, 2, 3, right? So from here. Then finally, what do we have to do? We have to mark the starting point and the ending point. So the answer is what? The answer is negative 1. The answer is negative 1. So this is equal to negative 1. Question number 4. draw all the axes of symmetry of the figure. Right, so on the whiteboard, I have drawn a similar figure which is drawn on the paper, right? So if we observe the diagram closely, very carefully, we can see two axes of symmetry. Two axes of symmetry. So one goes right in the middle like this, and the other one in this manner goes right in the middle. So we have only two axes of symmetry. Two axes of symmetry. Right, question number 5. Name a scalene triangle and a right angle isosceles triangle in the figure given below. Right, scalene triangle. Scalene means what? All sides of the triangle are not equal. ඒ කියන්නේ පැති තුනම එක එක දිගවල වලින් තියෙන්නේ. ඒකටනේ අපි scalene triangle එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. Okay, so what is that? Scalene one is what? PQS. PQS. Now, PQ, you can see that PQ length and PRS length is equal. That means what? PQ length and PS length is what? Different. And in the same manner, QS length is also different. So that means what? The scalene triangle, that is what? Scalene one, what is that? PQS triangle. Right. So next we have what? Right angle isosceles triangle. Right angle isosceles. If we take a look at this triangle, which is PQR, we can see that using this marking, right, we know that angle P, right, angle P is what? 90 degrees. And also PQ and PR lengths of the PQR triangle is what? Equal. How do we know that? By observing these two signs. මේරි කෑලි ගහලා තියෙන නිකන් නෙමෙයි. So there's a meaning. That means what? These two sides are equal in length. එහෙනම් right angle isosceles triangle එක මොකද්ද? It should be what? PQR. PQR triangle. හරි, එතකොට මේ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? Right angle isosceles triangle. Right angle isosceles triangle එක වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? PQR triangle එක. Right. Question number 6. The height of Samanthi, who is in grade 7A, is 145 centimeters. Express her height in meters. Express her height in meters. Okay, so we know 100 centimeters, that is equal to what? 1 meter. Right? So here what do we have to do? We have 145 centimeters. That is what? The height of Samanthi. We have to convert the centimeter value into what? Into meters. So we need to convert a small unit into a large unit, no? So when we convert a small unit into a large unit, what do we have to do? We have to divide. Divide by what amount? 100. Okay? So 145 we have to divide by 100. 145 divided by 100, what do we get? 1.45 meters. 1.45 meters. Right, question number 7. What do we have? Right, so we have been given an expression, so we have to simplify it. Okay? So here 2a and a, those are like terms, right? So here we have to subtract simple a from 2a. So what will be the outcome? A. Then we have 3b and b, both are like terms. So we have to do an addition. 3b plus b, what is that? 4b. So the answer is what? A plus 4b. Right. Question number 8. find the perimeter of the shaded part. Find the perimeter of the shaded part. Right. So in order to calculate the perimeter of this diagram, we need to know the total length of the border of this diagram. But we have been only given this length. මෙන්න මේ length එක විතරයි අපිට දීලා තියෙන්නේ. ඉතිරි length ටික අපි හොයාගන්න ඕන. Right. So by considering the symmetry, if this distance is 4 centimeters, clearly this distance is also 4 centimeters. When we add the perimeter, when we calculate the perimeter, we definitely need these two lengths. මෙන්න මේ lengths දෙක ඕන වෙනවා. Right? ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට මෙන්න මේ දිග ඕන වෙනවා. So by considering the symmetry of this diagram, if this distance is 4 centimeters, this distance is also 4 centimeters. එහෙනම් මෙතනින්ද මෙතනට centimeters 4ක් තියෙනවා. Right. Not only that, we need to calculate this length also. Right? So by observing the diagram on the paper, we can easily say that this length is what? 3 centimeters. A length එක centimeters 3. By considering the symmetry, if this distance is 3 centimeters, then this distance is also 3 centimeters. ඒ වගේම අපිට මෙන්න මේ උසවල් දෙකත් එකතු කරන්න වෙනවා. So those are what? 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter. So when we add these lengths together, what do we get? අපි මෙතනින් පටන් ගමු. 4 plus 3 plus මෙතනින්ද මෙතනට කොච්චරද තියෙනවද? 4යි. Plus 1 plus 1 මේ දිගවල දෙක ඊළඟට මේක. Plus 3. So 4 plus 4 that is 8. 3 plus 3 that is 6. 8 plus 6 that is 14. 14 plus 2 that is 16. So the perimeter is what? 16 centimeters. Don't forget the unit. In this question, it is centimeters. Right. Question number 9. What is the radius of a circle drawn by taking the straight line segment capital AB equals 10 centimeters as its diameter? Right. So we know diameter, it is equal to what? When you talk about the radius, diameter is 2 times the radius, no? So if the diameter is 10 centimeters, then what will be the radius? Half of that, no? So 5 centimeters. So that will be the answer. Right. Question number 10. Okay. What could be the minimum number of sides a concave polygon has? Right? So in order to come up with the answer, I have drawn the relevant polygon, concave polygon. Right? So the correct answer, they are asking the number of sides, the minimum number of sides that a concave polygon has now. So the answer is what? The answer is 4. Number of sides are 4. Right? So if you take a look at this diagram, how many sides does it has? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So this is a concave polygon. As you can see, if you take a look at the vertices, right? These 3 vertices are pointing outwards from the diagram, but this vertex is pointing inwards. So that is one characteristic regarding concave polygons. Or else we can say the same thing in another way. If we take a look at the angle, right? This angle, right? A concave polygon has at least one obtuse angle, right? Okay. So for question number 10, the number of minimum sides that a concave polygon has is 4. Right. Question number 11. Write the number illustrated in the abacus. Okay. So this is the diagram that is on the paper. So we have to observe the diagram very carefully. Right. So this is the 100th place, no, not 100, 100th, ending with a th, right? So there's one beat there. That means it is 0.01, right? The 100th place, what is the value there? 0.01. 1 divided by 100 means what? 0.01. So on the 100th place, 100th ending with a th, on the 100th place, we have one bead. So what is the value there? We have one bead, no? So 0.01, we have to multiply that by 1. So we will get what? 0.01. Now we come to the 10th place. 10th ending with a th. So on the 10th place, we have two beads, right? So 10th means 1 by 10. So it is equal to 0.1. So how many beads are there? Two beads. So how do we calculate the value? 0.1, we have to multiply that by 2. We have two beads now. So we have to multiply that by 2. 0.1 multiplied by 2. What do we get? 0.2. So 0.2. Right. So now we come to the ones place. On the ones place, there are no beads. So we can skip that. Then we come to the tens place. On the tens place, we have one bead. So what is the value? 10 into 1. What does this 1 means? It only has one bead, no? So 10 into 1, that is 10. 10. Okay, so now we will add these values together. So we will put a 0 here. 1 plus 0 plus 0, that is 1. 0 plus 2, that is 2. 2 plus 0, that is again 2. So here the value will be what? 10. So finally we get the value as 10.21. 10.21. Question number 12. A equals, within curly brackets, multiples of 2 from 1 to 10. Write set A as a list of elements within curly brackets. Right. So what is the number range? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have to pick up what? Multiples of 2. So this is the number range. So what are the multiples of 2? We have 2, we have 4, we have 6, we have 8, and we have 10. Right? So in the question, it is mentioned to us multiples of 2 from 1 to 10. No? Right? So here 2 and 10 are valid. Right? So we just have to write down the set A using curly brackets. So A is equal to what? 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. Right. Question number 13. Capital ABCD is a trapezium. Mark the pair of parallel sides of this figure using symbols. Right. So this is a trapezium, right? So we know a trapezium has only one pair of parallel sides. Okay? One pair. One pair of parallel sides. So what are the parallel sides? AB and CD. AB and CD. Right. Question number 14. Right? So we have been given some information, right? Find the least common multiple of 8, 12 and 24. Right? So 8 is equal to what? According to this information, 2 to the power 3. 12 is equal to 2 to the power 2 and 3 to the power 1. So we will write it down, 3 to the power 1. 24, 2 to the power 3 and 3 to the power 1. Right. So what do we have to do? We have to calculate the least common multiple, no? Right? So now you have to shift your focus to here. Right? So we can see that there are several indices, right? So we have base 2 and base 3. So what do we have to do? We are calculating the LCM, no? Least common multiple of these three numbers. So we have to pick the highest power of a specific base, right? So if we consider base 2, what is the highest power? 2 to the power 3, right? So 2 to the power 3. Then if we consider base 3, what is the highest power? 3 to the power 1, right? Then what do we have to do? Simply multiply these two indices. So we will simplify. So 2 to the power 3 means what? 8. 3 to the power 1 means what? 3. So we get 24 as the least common multiple of these three numbers. Right. Question number 16. Name the angle marked in the diagram. Right? Okay. So what is the angle? ABC. But the thing is, they are asking about the reflex angle, right? So if we simply write ABC in this manner, right? ABC angle, that means what? This internal angle. So that is not the angle that we need to identify. We need to identify what? We need to identify the reflex angle. So what do? We have to write reflex angle ABC. So this is the correct answer. Not just ABC. Right, question number 15. Kavisha's date of birth is April 8th, 2009. Amisha is younger than her by 4 years, 3 months and 9 days. Find Amisha's date of birth. Okay, so according to the question, right, we can see that Amisha is younger than Kavisha, no? So it is mentioned, no? So what do we have to do? We have to add the difference, right? Add the difference of the time to Kavisha's date of birth, right? So these are years, so I will simply put y there. So these are months and these are days. Okay, so 8 plus 9, what is that? 17. 4 plus 3, what is that? 7. Then 2009 plus 4, what is that? 2030. Right. So what is Amisha's date of birth? 17th of July 2013. Right. Question number 18. Express in milliliters. Okay. So we have been given 5 liters and 50 milliliters. Right. So first of all, we know 1 liter, that is equal to 1000 milliliters. Right? So we have to convert this entire amount into milliliters. This entire amount we have to convert. Right? So there we don't have to do any conversions to this milliliter part. It is already given to us in milliliters, no? So we only have to convert this part. So 5 liters, that is equal to what? 5 into 1000. What is this? We are converting liters into milliliters. 1 liter is equal to 1000 milliliters, right? So 5 liters is what? 5000. We have to take 5 and multiply it by 1000. So we get what? 5000 milliliters. Now we are not done. What do we have to do? We have to add this 50 to 5000. So the answer will be what? 5050 milliliters. So this is the answer. Question number 19. Name 2 regular polygons. So regular polygons. What are regular polygons? Polygons where all the sides are equal in length. Right? To keep it short, regular polygons are what? Polygons where the sides are, all sides are equal in length. Right? So we can write down square, So it's a regular polygon. Then equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle. Right. So these are the two correct responses. Right. So for each of the correct responses, you will be getting 1 mark. So altogether, the marks will be 2 for question number 19 as usual. Right. Right. Question number 20. The area of the rectangle given below is capital A. Build up a simple formula for the area capital A in terms of x and y. Right? So here the length is y and the width is x. Right. We know that the area of a rectangle is equal to what? Length, we have to multiply that by the width. So here length is what? Y. Width is what? X. Right? So what will be the answer? Yx. Or this can be xy. Both are correct. Right? Okay. So the answer is either yx or xy. Both are correct. Huh? Right. So we will start the second part of the term test paper. Question number 1. Simple A. Remind the activity that you have done in the lesson circles. Part 1. Name the mathematical instrument used to draw circles in that activity. So what is a mathematical instrument? What is the name? Pair of compass, no? Pair of compass. Right. So here, for the correct answer, you will be getting 1 mark. Construct a circle of radius 3 centimeters by using that instrument. Right. So since I am drawing the circle on the whiteboard, right, I will be drawing a circle where the radius is not 3 centimeters but 3 inches, right? Right, so this is a construction, right? So the radius is 3 inches. Now, don't misunderstand, right? So you have been given to draw a circle where the radius is 3 centimeters, but that is not possible for me on a whiteboard, right? So instead of centimeters, 3 centimeters, I have drawn a circle where the radius is 3 inches. Okay, so for the correct construction, you will be getting 2 marks. Draw a straight line segment PQ such that PQ is 6 centimeters, right? So first of all, we will use the ruler just to draw a straight line, right? So now I need to mark PQ. So the length of PQ is what? 6 centimeters. So just as before, I am going to mark PQ, but instead of centimeters, I am going to use inches. So PQ will be what? 6 inches, right? Right. So I have taken the correct measurement for 6 inches, right? So now I am going to mark 2 arcs, right? So here we have 1 arc, and here we have the other one. Right. So now this distance is 6 inches, right? 6 inches. So here this will be P and this will be Q. Right. So now part 2. Draw a circle of radius 4 centimeters by taking P as the center. Okay, so now we have to draw a circle. So P should be the center of that circle. What is the radius? Radius is 4 centimeters. Right. So just as before, instead of centimeters, I am using inches. So the radius will be what? 4 inches. Right. So now I'm going to make P the center and draw the circle. Right. Okay. Part 3. Draw a circle of radius 4 centimeters by taking Q as the center. So we have to do the same thing, but in part 3 we have to make Q the center, right? Right. Part 4. Name the two intersection points of the circles as R and S. Right. So this will be R and this will be S. Part 5. Complete the two triangles PRQ and PSQ by joining the relevant points. Right. So this is the completed construction for question number 1, part B. Right. So if we talk about the marks for the first part, that means draw a straight line segment PQ such that PQ is equal to 6 centimeters. Right. So for that part, you will be getting 1 mark. Right. Draw a circle of radius 4 centimeters by taking P as the center. For that, you will be getting another 1 mark. Right. Draw a circle of radius 4 by taking Q as a center. Right. So for that, you will be getting another 1 mark. Right. Name the two intersection points of the circles as R and S. So these two. Right. So for that, you will be getting 2 marks. Right. Complete the two triangles PRQ and PSQ. PRQ and PSQ by joining the relevant points. So for that you will be getting another 2 marks. Right. So if we talk about part B, what are the full marks? So here we have 3 marks and 4. So altogether we get a total of 7 marks. Right. So now we will go to part C. So still I won't erase the construction here, right? Because we will need that. To what type of triangles does PRQ triangle belong when classifying triangles according to their sides? Right. Right. So if we consider the PRQ triangle, PR and QR both are what? Radiuses. So if you can remember, when we construct these two circles, both of the radius were equal. That means these two sides are equal in length, right? So what is the special name that we give for a triangle that has two sides where the lengths are equal? Isosceles. So the type of triangle is what? Isosceles, right? Right. So simple C, part 1. What is the type of triangle? Isosceles. Right. So for that question, you will be getting 3 marks. Part C, under that, part 2. Kumara says that the quadrilateral PQRS is a regular polygon. Do you agree with him? Give reasons. Right. Now, think about PQRS. Right. So, there PR and PS are equal in length. And in the same manner, if we talk about QR and QS, those two lengths are also equal. What are the reasons? If we think about this circle, PR and PS, what are those? Radii, right? So if we talk about this circle, RQ and SQ, what are those? Radii, right? So that is the reason the lengths are equal in length. Now, if you can remember, both of these circles, the radii were equal, no? 4 centimeters. මෙතන centimeters 4 නැහැ. මම inches 4ක් අරගෙන තියෙන්නේ. But if we talk about these two circles, both of them, the radii, they are equal, 4 centimeters. Right? So here it is 4 inches. Right? Okay. So then we can say what? All of these lengths are equal, no? So how many sides this PQRS has? 4. It has 4 sides, right? So this is a quadrilateral. We know that, no? Right? A plane figure. So this is a closed plane figure. It has 4 sides. All of them are what? The line segments are straight line segments. So this is a closed plane figure. So this is a quadrilateral, right? So what is the name that we give to a quadrilateral where all the lengths are equal? Square. So PQRS, it is a square. So if we take a look at the question again, so this is part C. Under that part 3, Kumar says that the quadrilateral PQRS is a regular polygon. Do you agree with him? Yes. You have to write yes. අහන දෙයක් නේ. එතකොට ඒකට උත්තරේ දෙන්න ඕන. Give the reasons. Right? So what are the reasons? PR, RQ, QS and PS. So all 4 sides are equal in length. Right? So what is the name that we give to a quadrilateral where all the sides are equal in length? Square. So this is a square. So square, it is a regular polygon. Right? Okay. So if we talk about part 2, right? Part 2. So saying yes, that means, do you agree with him? So that is a question, no? So yes or no? So in this case, it is a yes. So for this part, you will be getting 1 mark, right? You will be getting 1 mark. And for the correct explanation, right? You will be getting another 1 mark. Right. So this is the marks breakdown for question number 1. So question number 1 mainly has 3 parts: simple A, simple B and simple C. Simple A, it has 2 parts. So for part 1, you will be getting 1 mark. For part 2, you will be getting 2 marks. So altogether 3 marks. Part B, so there are 5 parts there, right? So for first 3 parts, you will be getting 1 mark each. So for part 4 and part 5, you will be getting 2 marks each. So for part B, the total marks are 7. Right, talking about part C, it has 2 parts, right? So both of them 3 marks each, right? Altogether for part C, 6 marks. So when we add these marks together, you will be getting what? 16 marks. So that is for the first question. Right, question number 2. The diagrams given below show the amounts of chocolates received by Nilum and Mane. Right? So you have to observe the diagrams which are related to Nilum and Mane carefully. Yeah? Right. So under that we have part 1. What is part 1? Write the amounts of chocolates received by Nilum and Mane separately. Right. So first of all we will talk about Nilum. Now observe the diagram. So there we have 3 identical squares. So from the 3, 2 are fully shaded. So we can write 2 there. Then take the last square. So it is divided into 4 equal parts, and out of that 4, 3 are shaded. So how do we write that as a fraction? 3 by 4. So we have to write the entire amount as a fraction. No? So we have to add these together. So what will be the answer? 2 and 3 by 4. 2 and 3 by 4. Or else we can say 2 and 3 quarters. Right. Now we will take a look at Manil. Observe the diagram. So there we have two identical squares. Right. One is fully shaded and the other one, take a very good look. It is divided into 8 equal parts. Out of that 8 equal parts, only one is shaded. So we can write that as a fraction, that is 1 by 8. So how do we rewrite this information as a fraction? Simply we have to add these two together. So what will be the answer? 1 and 1 by 8. 1 and 1 by 8. Right. So here you will get 1 mark for the correct answer. Here also you will get another 1 mark for the correct answer. Part 2. Express the amounts of chocolates received by Nilum and Manil as improper fractions. Right? So if we talk about Nilum, so Nilum received 2 and 3 quarters of chocolates. Right? So when we convert this amount or this fraction into improper fractions, the denominator will be the same. How do we calculate the numerator? 4 into 2, we know that is 8. 8 plus 3, we know that is 11. Right. So if we talk about Manil, so what was the amount of chocolates? 1 and 1 by 8. Right. So amount of chocolates received by Manil as a fraction is what? 1 and 1 by 8. Right. So when we convert this into an improper fraction, what will be the denominator? 8. What will be the numerator? 8 times 1, that is 8. To that we add another 1. So this becomes what? 9. Right. So for this you will be getting 1 mark and for this you will be getting another 1 mark. Part 3. What is the total amount of chocolates received by both? So what do we have to do? Simply we have to add those two fractions together, right? So 11 by 4, to that we have to add 9 by 8. Right. So here we have two fractions where the denominators are different. So we have to make them same. In order to do that, we have to calculate the least common multiple of 4 and 8. So it will be 8. Right. So what does that mean? We have to convert each of these denominators into what? 8. So 11 by 4. How do we convert this 4 into an 8? By multiplying it by 2. Do the same thing to the numerator as well. So 11 into 2, we know that is 22. 4 into 2, we know that is 8. Right? Now these two are what? These two are equivalent fractions. Right? So I can write 22 by 8 instead of 11 by 4. 9 by 8, we don't have to do any conversions. Why? The denominator is already 8. Right? So we simply write this as what? 9 by 8. Now take a look at the fractions. The denominators are equal. Right? So 22 plus 9, what is that? 31. 31 by 8. So this is an improper fraction. So we have to convert this into what? Mixed number. Right? So 8 times 3, that is 24. So we have to add a 7 to go to 31. So this will be the answer. Right. So for this step you will be getting 1 mark, and for the correct answer you will be getting another 1 mark. Right. So when we talk about adding these two fractions, right, even when we take the mixed numbers and add them together, we can come up with the correct answer, right? So this is 2 and 3 by 4. We can break this fraction into what? 2 plus 3 by 4. This is 1 and 1 by 8. We can break this into what? 1 plus 1 by 8. Now I can simply add these two whole numbers. 2 plus 1, what is that? 3. Plus 3 by 4, to that I have to add 1 by 8. Now these two fractions I have to do the simplification. So just as before, we have two fractions where the denominators are different. So 4 and 8, those are the two denominators. So we have to calculate the least common multiple between these two numbers, which will be what? 8, right? So 3 by 4, I have to multiply the denominator by 2, right? Since I multiply the denominator by 2, I have to multiply the numerator by 2 as well. So 3 times 2, that is 6. 4 times 2, that is 8, right? So 1 by 8, I don't have to do any conversions. Why? The denominator is already 8, right? So now I will write 3 plus, instead of 3 by 4, I can simply write what? 6 by 8. 6 by 8 plus 1 by 8. Right, so I will continue the simplification this side, okay? So 3 plus, here what do we have? We have two fractions where the denominators are equal, right? So I can simply write 7 by 8. So the answer is what? 3 and 7 by 8, right? So if you have done the simplification using this method, okay? So for this step, you will be getting 1 mark, and for the correct answer, you will be getting another 1 mark. Part 4. How many more chocolates received by Nilum than Manil? So simply what do we have to do? We have to take the two fractions and calculate the difference, right? So what was the amount of chocolates that Nilum received? 11 by 4. What is the amount received by Manil? That is 9 by 8. Amounts of chocolates received to both of them represented as fractions. So we have to calculate the difference, right? So we have to subtract. 9 by 8, we have to subtract that from 11 by 4. Okay, so here also we can't do the subtraction since the denominators are different. So we have to make them same, right? So 11 by 4. So we can simply write the equivalent fraction as before. So what is that? 22 by 8 minus 9 by 8. Now take a look at the two fractions. Denominators are equal. So simply what can we do? We can simply subtract the numerators. 22 minus 9. What is that? 13. 13 by 8. But the thing is, this is an improper fraction. We have to simplify that into what? Mixed number, right? So 1 and 5 by 8. That is the answer. Right. So for this step, you will be getting 1 mark. And for this step, you will be getting another 1 mark. Right. So we can take the mixed numbers and do the subtraction also in this manner. Right. So I can break this into what? 2 plus 3 by 4. Now this is minus 1 and 1 by 8 now. So I can break this into what? Minus 1 minus 1 by 8. Right? Now I can do the subtraction of the whole numbers. So I will get a 1. 2 minus 1, that's a 1. Then 3 by 4 minus 1 by 8. Right? So just as before, the denominators are different, so we have to make them same. So the least common multiple will be what? 8. So 1 by 4, I have to multiply the denominator and the numerator by 2. So this becomes what? Right. So we will take 3 by 4 and I will have to multiply the denominator by 2 and the numerator by 2 as well. So I will be getting what? 6 by 8. Right, so I will continue the simplification on this side. So here what do we have? 1 plus, instead of 3 by 4, I can write 6 by 8 minus 1 by 8. So we get what? 5 by 8. Right? So we can add these two, then get the answer as what? 1 and 5 by 8. If you have followed this method, right, you will be getting 1 mark for this step and another 1 mark for this step. Part 5. Express the amount of chocolates received by Manil as a fraction. So, Manil received the amount which Manil received as chocolates are what? 1 and 1 by 8. Right? So, I can break this into what? 1 plus 1 by 8. 1 plus 1 by 8. Now what can I do? Take 1 by 8, then I will multiply 8 by 125. Why do we do that? When we convert fractions into decimals, if the denominator of the fraction is a power of 10, it will be easier for us to do the conversion. Now, take 1 by 8. The denominator is 8. So, it is not a power of 10. Power of 10, not a multiple of 10. But if we multiply 8 by 125, what do we get? 1000. 1000, that is what? A power of 10. Which is 10 to the power 3. Right? So, since we multiply 8 by 125, we do the same thing to the 1. So what do we get? We get 125 divided by 1000. Now 125 divided by 1000, we can easily come up with the answer as what? 0.125. 0.125. Now this is not the answer, right? So here what do we have to do? 1 plus 1 by 8 means what? 0.125. So what is the answer? 1.125. So this will be the answer. Right. So for this step, you will be getting 1 mark. And for this step, you will be getting another 1 mark. And for the correct answer, you will be getting another 1 mark. Altogether 3 marks. Right. So these are the breakdowns of the marks for question number 2. Right? So for part 1, the total marks are 2 marks. Part 2, total marks are 2 marks. Part 3, total marks are 3 marks. Part 4, total marks are 2 marks. For part 5, total marks are 3 marks. So when we add these together, we get the total of 11 marks. Question number 3. The masses of nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus in a bag of NPK fertilizer are marked as follows, right? So we have been given a diagram, so we really need to take a very good look at it, right? So there are nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, so the specific masses of each of them have been given to us, right? So then we have simple A part. Under that, part 1, find the total mass of the nutrients in this bag of fertilizer. So what do we have to do? Simply, we have to add the masses all together, right? So this is simple A under that part 1. So we have 60 grams and 200 milligrams of nitrogen. Then we have 120 grams and 450 milligrams of phosphorus. Then we have 300 grams and 350 milligrams of potassium. So finally we have to add these values together. Right. So before we do anything, we know that 1 gram is equal to 1000 milligrams. Right. So here we have grams. This is milligrams. Right. So we have to do an addition and we have grams and milligrams. So when we compare these two units, milligrams, that is the small unit. So we have to start adding from milligrams, right? So 200 plus 450, we have 650. 650 plus 350, what is that? 1000. So this is 1000. What are those? These are milligrams. Right. So unlike in a usual addition, right? we are adding measurements of units now, right? So I cannot simply write 1000 here. These are 1000 milligrams. So I have to convert them into what? Grams. So I have to divide 1000 milligrams by 1000. So this becomes what? When we divide 1000 by 1000, we get a 1, right? So these are what? 1 grams, right? So this grams we need to write under the grams section, right? So here we don't have anything, right? So now we come to the grams part. So 60 plus 120, 60 plus 120 we know that is 180. 180 plus 300, what is that? 480. We are not done. We still have to add a 1. So this becomes what? 481. 481. So I will just erase these, right? So finally, what is the answer? 481 grams. Right. So here for the correct answer, you will be getting 2 marks. Right. Part 2. Write the mass of nitrogen in the bag of fertilizer in milligrams. So what is the mass of nitrogen? 60 grams and 200 milligrams. Okay. So we know 1 gram that is equal to 1000 milligrams. Right? So we have been given this entire amount, which is in grams and milligrams. So we have to convert this entire amount into milligrams. When we do that, we don't have to do any conversions to milligrams. Milligrams are 200 because it is already in milligrams. We only have to convert 60 grams. So 60, we have to multiply that by what? 1000. So this becomes what? 60,000 milligrams. Now we are not done yet. We have to add the 200 also. So 60,000 plus 200, what will be the answer? 60,200 milligrams. Okay, so here for the correct answer, you will be getting 2 marks. Right, part 3. If the total mass of the bag of fertilizer is 500 grams, find the mass of the empty bag. Right, so we have been given the total mass of the bag with the fertilizer. That means the mass of the fertilizer and the bag, the empty bag, when we add them together, what will be the value? 500 grams. We know the mass of the content, no? Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, we added that, no? We calculated that, no? We know that value, but we don't know the mass of the empty bag. So how can we find it? By doing what? By subtracting the mass of the content. That means the mass of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium amounts which is inside the bag. So we take that value and subtract that value from the mass of the entire bag. Then we get what? Mass of the empty bag. Right. Right. So what is the mass of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium in this bag? It is 481. These are grams. Right. So this is part 3. Right. So the entire bag, that means empty bag, the mass of the empty bag and the content, it is what? 500. We know the mass of the content, right? Content means what? Nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium amounts. The mass of all of these. So it is 481. So what can we do? We can subtract 481 from what? 500. Then we get the mass of the empty bag, right? So 500 minus 481, this simply means what? 499 minus 480. 9 minus 0, that's a 9. 9 minus 8, that's a 1. 4 minus 4, that's a 0. So the mass of the empty bag is what? 19, 19 grams. 19 grams. When we break down the marks for this expression, you will be getting 1 mark. For the correct answer along with the unit, you will be getting another 1 mark. Okay, so question number 3, simple B, part 1. What do we have to do? We have to do this multiplication, right? So we have grams and milligrams. So we start from milligrams, right? So 480 into 6. 400 into 6, what is that? 2400. 80 into 6, what is that? 480. Simply 480. So 2400 plus 480, what is that? 2880. But the thing is, we cannot simply write 2880 here, right? So we have to break that value into what? 2000 and what? I will just simply erase this up. 2880. So both of these are what? Milligrams. So we can convert this into what? Grams. These are 2000 milligrams, no? So what do we have to do? Take 2000 and divide it by 1000. So we get what? 2. What is this 2? Grams. Right? So we have to put it under grams. Oh, right? So actually what is the remaining amount here? 880. 6 times 7, what is that? 42. 42 plus 2, what is that? 44. Right. So what is the final answer? Final answer is 44 grams and 880 milligrams. So for this question, for the correct answer, you will be getting 2 marks. Right. Part 2, what do we have? We have 10 grams and 611 milligrams. So we have to divide this amount by 9. Okay. So we will take 10, these are grams, and 611, so these are milligrams. Right. So I have rewritten the question in this manner. So we are doing the log division method, right? So first of all, we have to divide the grams, then we have to move to milligrams. Okay. So how many 9s are there for 10? We can go up to 1. 9 times 1, what is that? 9. 10 minus 9, we get a 1. Now this 1, what are those? Those are grams, no? So I can simply write converting it into milligrams as what? 1000. Right? Then we have to add these together. So we get what? 1611. How many 9s are there for 16? 1. So when you are writing 1, right, you have to write 1 on top of this 6, right? Okay. So 9 times 1, what is that? 9. 16 minus 9, what do you get? 7. Then we drag down this 1. How many 9s are there for 71? 6, no? 6. 9 times 6, what is that? 63. Okay, right. So 1 minus 3 we can't do. 11 minus 3, we know that is an 8. So here the remaining digit is 6. 6 minus 6, we get a 0. Then we drag down this 1, altogether 81. Right. How many 9s are there for 81? Exactly 9. 9 times 9, what is that? 81. 81 minus 81, we get a 0. Right? Okay. I'll just bring the camera down. Right? So here you can see. So 81, how many 9s are there? Exactly 9. 9 times 9, what is that? 81. 81 minus 81, we get a 0. So here what is the answer? The answer will be 1 grams and 169 milligrams. Right. So for this question, for the correct answer, you will be getting 3 marks. So you have to mention the units also. Right. So this is the breaking down of marks for question number 3. So question number 3, so it contains 2 parts, simple A and simple B, right? So simple A, it has 4 parts under that, right? So these are the marks for each of those parts and these are the total for simple A. So for simple A, the total marks are 6 marks. So when we come down to simple B, right? So simple B, it has 2 parts, right? So for part 1, the marks are 2 marks. Part 2, the marks are 3 marks. So when we add those together, for simple B part, the total marks are what? 5. So if we think about question number 3, the total marks are what? 11. 6 plus 5, that is 11. Question number 4, right? So under that, simple A. Express the perimeter of figure A as an algebraic expression. Right. Right. So this is figure A. So this is capital A. Huh? Right. Express the perimeter of the figure capital A as an algebraic expression. Right. So how do we calculate the perimeter? Simply by adding these 3 lengths. So they are asking the expression. So the expression should be what? We will start from here. X plus 3 plus 2x minus 1 plus x plus 2. Simplify the above expression and write it in simplest form. Right, so that is part 2. So I will rewrite the expression x plus 3 plus 2x minus 1 plus x plus 2. Right, so first of all we have to remove the brackets. So then it will be the same thing again. X plus 3, 2x minus 1 plus x plus 2. Now we have like terms x, 2x, again x. So x plus 3x, what is that? Sorry. So x plus 2x, what is that? 3x. 3x plus x, what is that? 4x. Right? Same as 1 plus 2, that is 3, no? In the same manner, x plus 2x, that is 3x. Right? So if we add another 1 to 3, what do we get? 4. In the same manner, 3x plus x, what do we get? 4x. Right. Now we think about the numbers. 3 minus 1, what is that? 2. 2 plus 2, what is that? 4. Right? Actually, in the marking scheme, right, this is the answer. Right? This is the answer that you have been given full marks. Right? But the thing is, we can further simplify this. Right? So at the moment, you don't know how to do that because you are in grade 7. Right? So when you are in grade 8, we can further simplify this. So when we do the simplification a bit more, this becomes what? We can take 4 as the common factor. Then what goes inside the brackets? X plus 1. Okay. So for part 1 under simple A, you will be getting 1 mark. For part 2 under simple A, you will be getting another, actually you will be getting 2 marks, right? So when we talk about marks, for part 1 you will be getting 1 mark, and for part 2, for the correct answer, you will be getting 2 marks, right? So even though you have written up to here, you will be getting 2 marks, right? So for grade 7, 4x plus 4 is enough, right? Okay. Third part, if A is 6 and B is 2, obtain the values of the length and breadth of the rectangle. Right. So what is length? Length is 3A plus 2. Right. So here A is equal to 6. Am I correct? Yes. A is equal to 6. B is equal to 2. Right. So what will be the value? 3 into 6 plus 2. 3 into 6, that is 18. 18 plus 2. 18 plus 2 is what? 20 centimeters. Right? So we haven't been given the units of the length and the breadth. Right? So we will take it as centimeters. Right? So the length will be 20 centimeters. Then what will be the width or the breadth? Both are the same thing, right? What is the expression? 2a minus b. So 2 into a is what? 6 minus 2. B is 2, no? So 2 into 6, that is 12. 12 minus 2, we get a 10. So this is 10 centimeters. Right. For this step, you will be getting 1 mark, right? And for the correct answer, you will be getting another 1 mark. Same here. For this step, you will be getting 1 mark. And for the correct answer, along with the units, you will be getting 1 marks. Right. Part 4. Find the area of figure capital B. Right. So that means this rectangle. Right. I will put B there. Using the values you obtained above. Right. So, what will be the area? Length into width, no? Width or breadth. Both are the same thing. So, the length we got 20. Width we got 10. So, we will get 200 square centimeters. Don't forget square centimeters. Huh? Okay, so for the correct answer, you will be getting 1 mark. Okay, simple B, part 1, we have to simplify. So we have to add these values together. Okay, so meters and centimeters, we know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. Right? Okay, so we will start from centimeters. 65 plus 25, what is that? We get 90. So 90 we can write under centimeters because it is less than 99. The maximum number that we can write under centimeters is what? 99. So now we move to meters. So 7 plus 2, we get 9. So the correct answer is what? 9 meters and 90 centimeters. 9 meters and 90 centimeters. Right. So for the first part, the answer is 9 meters and 90 centimeters. For this, you will be getting 1 marks. Right. So for the first part of simple B, the answer is 9 meters and 90 centimeters. For that, you will be getting 1 mark. Right. Simple B. So we have to do this simplification also. This is part 2. Huh? So we have centimeters and millimeters. We know 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters. Okay. So we have to start from the millimeters. 8 minus 9 we can't do. So we have to borrow a 1 from centimeters. When we borrow that 1, what will be the total amount of millimeters? 10 plus 8, no? Right? So what will be the value? 18. So from 18 we can subtract 9. What do we get? 9. Right. Now here, what is the remaining amount of centimeters? 34. 4 minus 2, that's a 2. 3 minus 2, that's a 1. So here the answer is what? 12 centimeters and 9 millimeters. Right. So for the correct answer, you will be getting 2 marks. So you really need to mention the units. Huh? Right. So this is a breakdown of marks regarding question number 4. Right. So question number 4 has 2 parts, simple A and simple B. Right. So simple A has 4 parts. Right. So for part 1, the marks are 1 mark. Part 2, 2 marks. Part 4, 4 marks. Part 3, 4 marks. Part 4, 1 mark. So for entire simple A part, the total marks are 8. Right? So if we go to simple B, we have 2 parts. For part 1, you get 1 mark. For part 2, you get 2 marks. For simple B, the total marks are 3. So when we add these 2 together, we get 11 marks. Right. Question number 5. So in question number 5, we have simple A part and simple B part. So we will start from simple A. So under that, part 1. Write 125 as a power with base 5. So what can we do? take 125 and divide it by 5. So we get the quotient as 25. Again we will divide it by 5. Then we will get the quotient as 5. Again we will divide it by 5. Now we will get the quotient as 1. Now if we take these three numbers and multiply together, we get what? 125. So 125, when we write 125 as a power where the base is 5, right? The exponent will be what? 3. Right, so for the correct answer, you will be getting 2 marks. Right, simple A part 2. Expand 3 to the power 2 and x to the power 3. So here we only have to expand, right? We don't have to simplify. So 3 to the power 2 means what? 3 into 3. X to the power 3 means what? X multiplied by x multiplied by x. Right. So for the correct answer, you will be getting 2 marks. Right. Part 3. So we have been given an expression a to the power 3, b to the power 2. So we have to find the value, right? So here a is equal to what? 3 and b is equal to what? 2. Here we can substitute the values. So a is 3, no? That means the base is 3. So 3 to the power 3. Here b is equal to what? 2. That means the base is 2. So multiplied by 2 to the power 2. Right? So 3 to the power 3 means what? 3 into 3 into 3. Right? So what do we get? 27. 2 to the power 2 means what? 2 into 2. So what do we get? 4. Right. So 20 into 4, what is that? 80. 7 into 4, what is that? 28. So when we add these together, we get what? 108. So here the answer is what? 108. Right. So for this step, you will be getting 1 mark. And for this step, you will be getting another mark. So altogether, you will be getting 2 marks for part 3 of simple A. Simple B, evaluate. So under that we have 3 parts. So part 1, what do we have? 4.52 multiplied by 10. Right. So we are multiplying a decimal number by a power of 10. So what happens? 4.52, what happens? So here, this is the decimal point. So we are multiplying 5.52 by what? 10. 10 means what? A power of 10. Right? If we take the number 10, we know that is 10 to the power 1. Right? If we take 100, what is that? 10 to the power 2. If we take 1000, what is that? 10 to the power 3. So 10 means 10 to the power 1. So we are multiplying a decimal number by a power of 10. So what happens? This decimal point, since we are multiplying by a power of 10, this decimal point moves to the right side. How many places? 1 place. Right? So the answer will be what? 45.2. So for the correct answer, you will be getting 1 mark. Part 2. There we have 0.875. We have to multiply that by 6. So we have a decimal number and we have to multiply that by 6. So we will rewrite this decimal number without any decimal places. So we get what? 875. Then we will multiply 875 by 6. So we get 5250 when we multiply 875 by 6. But actually, we need to come up with the answer for 0.875 multiplied by 6. Right? So this number, even though it is a decimal number, it has 3 decimal places. So we will have to place a decimal place. Right? So it will be this after 5. So it will be what? 5.250. So that is the answer. 5.250 and 5.25, both are the same thing. Right, so for the correct answer, you will be getting 2 marks. Right, so third part, we have a division. So what do we have to do? We have to divide 8.94 by 3. 8.94 by 3. Right, so we will do the long division. 8.94, we will divide this by 3. How many 3's are there for 8? We can go up to 2. 3 times 2, what is that? 6. 8 minus 6, we get a 2. Right? So we put a decimal place and drag down this 9. Altogether 29. How many 3's are there for 29? We can go up to 9. 3 times 9, what is that? 27. 29 minus 27, we get a 2. Now drag down this 4. Altogether 24. How many 3's are there for 24? Exactly 8. 3 times 8, what is that? 24. 24 minus 24, we get a 0. So I will just drag down the camera a bit so you can see here clearly, right? So for 24, how many 3's are there? Exactly 8. 3 times 8, what is that? 24. 24 minus 24, we get a 0. Right. So 8.94 divided by 3, the answer is what? 2.98. Right? So for the correct answer, you will be getting 2 marks. Right? But the division, the long division, right? It should be there. It should be there on your working. Make a pain na teen. Right. So this is the marks breakdown for question number 5. So question number 5, it has 2 parts, simple A and simple B. Simple A part has another 3 parts, right? So for part 1, 2 marks, part 2, 2 marks, part 3, 2 marks. So the total marks for part A, it is 6 marks. So if we go to part B also has 3 parts. For part 1, the marks are 1 mark. Part 2, 2 marks. Part 3, 2 marks. Right? So the total marks for part B is what? 5. So if we consider question number 5, for part A, 6 marks. Part B, 5 marks. All marks are for question 5 is 11. Question number 6. So in question number 6, we have simple A, simple B and simple C. Right. So we will start from simple A. Build up simple equations for each of the situations given below. Right. So part 1, what do we have? When 4 is added to x, the result is 12. 4 is added to x. That means x plus 4. X plus 4. Right? The result is 12 means what? This is equal to 12. Part 2, what do we have? When 3 is subtracted from twice of a. Twice of a is what? 2a. 3 is subtracted from twice of a. So 3 has been subtracted. That means minus from this value. The result is 7. That means this equal to 7. Right. For this part, you will be getting 2 marks. For this part also, you will be getting 2 marks. Simple B. Solve. So under that we have 2 parts. So we will start from part 1. So there we have x plus 7, that is equal to 15. Right. So x plus 7 is equal to 15. No? So we have to get rid of this plus 7. So what do? X plus 7, we subtract a 7. Right? So 15 minus 7. This is an equation. No? So whatever we do to one side must be replicated on the other side. Right? So now I can cancel off these two. So x will be equal to what? 8. So here the answer is 8. Right. So for this step you will be getting 1 mark, and for this step you will be getting another 1 mark. Part 2. 3x minus 2, that is equal to 13. 3x minus 2, that is equal to 13. Okay. Simple B, second part. So we have this equation, so we have to solve this. Right. So first of all, we have to get rid of this minus 2. So what do we do? This is minus 2, no? We add a 2. Do the same thing on the other side. 13 plus 2. So now I can cancel off these two. So 3x is equal to what? 13 plus 2, it is 15. 3x means what? 3 is multiplied by x. Whenever you see a letter next to a number, so the idea is, if we consider this term, so the idea here is what? 3 is multiplied by x. So here x is multiplied by 3 now. So what do? We divide it by 3. So we have to do the same thing the other side. So now I can cancel off these 3's. So 3 times 1, 3 times 5. So here x will be equal to 5. Okay. So for this step you will be getting 1 mark, and for the answer you will be getting another 1 mark. Simple C. So what do we have? 2x plus 1, that is equal to 5. So we have to solve this using what? A flow diagram. Right. Question number 6, part C. So we have this equation. We have to come up with the answer using the flow chart. Right? Okay. So first of all, we start from x. How do we get 2x from x? Simply by multiplying x by 2, we get 2x. Right? So now, from here, how do we go to here? This is 2x, this is 2x plus 1. So we add a 1. Then we get what? 2x plus 1. Now, according to the equation, we know that 2x plus 1 is equal to 5. Now, we start from 5 and work our way backwards. Right? So, here we have plus 1. What is the inverse of plus 1? Minus 1. So, 5 minus 1, what is this? 4. Now, what do we have to do? Take a look here. This is multiplied by 2. What is the inverse of multiplication? Division. So, this is multiplied by 2. So, from here, we have to divide 4 by what? 2. 4 divided by 2, that is 2. So we get the answer as what? 2. Right. So you will be getting 1 mark for this step and another mark for the second step. Right. So this is the marks breakdown for question number 6. Right. So as we have done question number 6, so it has 3 parts. So part A, it has 2 parts. Right? For part 1, 2 marks, part 2, another 2 marks, altogether 4 marks. So if we talk about simple A part, the total marks for that are 4 marks. Simple B. So here we have 2 parts. For part A, 2 marks, part B, another 2 marks. Altogether we get what? So for part B, the total marks are 4. Right. So this is part C. So for part C, the total marks are 3. But in the discussion video, I have forgot to mention 1 mark. So you will be getting 1 mark for the value for x, right? Which is 2. So altogether we get 3 marks for simple C, right? So for question number 6, part A, 4 marks, part B, 4 marks, part C, 3 marks. Altogether we get what? 11 marks. Right. Question number 7. What do we have? Amasha took the measurements of the fish tank and noted down in a diagram as follows, right? So you have to take a very good look at the diagram. So you can see all the dimensions of the fish tank are mentioned there, right? So the length is 30 centimeters, the width is 15 centimeters, and the height is 12 centimeters. Okay. So what is the first question? Find the area of the base of the tank. So we know the shape of the base of this fish tank is what? A rectangle, right? So in order to calculate the area, of base, what do we have to do? Simply we have to calculate the area. So the base is rectangular in shape now. So we have to apply how we calculate the area of a rectangle, no? So how do we do that? Length into width. Length into width. Right. So here what is the length? 30 centimeters. What is the width? 15 centimeters. So 30 into 15 we know that is 450. So these are square centimeters. So always you have to remember, you have to write down the correct unit. So here it is square centimeters. Right. So for this step you will be getting 1 mark, and for the correct answer you will be getting another 1 mark. Part 2. If the tank is filled with water to a height of 10 centimeters, find the volume of water in the tank in cubic centimeters. Now, if we take a look at the fish tank, the total height is 12 centimeters. But according to the question, water is filled only up to 10 centimeters, right? So how do we calculate the volume? Simply take the area of base, right? We have calculated this, right? So we have to multiply that by what? Height, right? So area of base is what? 450, right? So those are square centimeters. Height, what is that? 10 centimeters. 450 into 10, what is that? 4500. Now we are calculating a volume now. So this should be what? Cubic centimeters. So this is the correct answer. Right. So for this step you will be getting 1 mark. And for the correct answer, along with the correct unit, you will be getting another 1 mark. Part 3. If 1 cubic centimeter is equal to 1 milliliter, find the volume of water in the tank in milliliters. Okay. So 1 cubic centimeter is equal to 1 milliliter. So what are they asking us to do? Find the volume of water in the tank in milliliters, right? So if 1 cubic centimeter is equal to 1 milliliter, definitely 4500 cubic centimeters should be equal to what? 4500 milliliters, right? So the answer is 4500 milliliters. Right, so here for the correct answer you will be getting 2 marks. Part 4. Find the volume of the empty space of the tank in cubic centimeters. Okay, so this part we can do in 2 methods, right? So first of all, we can find the entire volume of the tank, right? So what is that? Entire volume. Entire volume. That means what? Area of base into height. What is the area of base? 450 square centimeters. What is the height? 12 centimeters. Right. 450 into 12. So we will take 45 and multiply that by 12. Right? Then when we get the value, we will multiply it by 10. Right? So we will use a short method regarding multiplications. Right? So 2 times 5, that is 10. 1 times 4, that is 4. Now we will cross multiply. 1 into 5, that will be 5. So in this direction we will cross multiply. 2 into 4, we get what? 8. 5 plus 8, that is 13. So we will write 13 under here, right? Skipping the 1 space of the first number. So we will be getting what? 540 when we add these 2 numbers. So 45 into 12, it is what? 540. But we have to multiply that by 10 again, right? So we get what? 5400 cubic centimeters. So anyway, when we multiply 450 by 12, whatever method that you use, we get what? 5400 cubic centimeters. Now, this is the entire volume of the tank, right? So we will write it somewhere so we can clearly see that, right? Right. So now, we calculated what? We calculated the amount of water that is inside the tank. What is that? We calculated that now. So it should be 4,500, no? Yes. So that is 4,500 cubic centimeters. So the total volume is, the total of volume of the tank is what? 5,400. At the moment, what is the amount of water or the volume of water that is actually in the tank? 4,500 cubic centimeters. So in the question, what are they asking? Find the volume of the empty space of the tank in cubic centimeters. So what do we have to do? We have to subtract these two values, right? Volume of empty space is what? 5,400 minus 4,500. So we get two zeros at the end. 4 minus 5 we can't do. 14 minus 5 we know that's what? 9. Then here the remaining digit will be 4. 4 minus 4 we get a 0. So this is 900 cubic centimeters. So that is the answer. So here for calculating the total amount of volume you will be getting 1 mark, right? To calculating this amount you will be getting 1 mark, and for the correct answer you will be getting another 1 mark, right? So we will discuss how to get the answer using the other method, right? So I have drawn the fish tank, but the angle is somewhat different, right? Same dimensions are there, right? But the angle is somewhat different, right? So here the total height of the tank is what? 12 centimeters. Water is filled up to 10 centimeters. Then what is this gap? May gap එක මොනවද? මෙන්න මේ උස. මේ gap එක what is that? 12 minus 10, no? Right? So what is that height? 2 centimeters. This height is 2 centimeters. So we can easily calculate what? The amount of space on top of the water. So now we know the height of empty space is what? 2 centimeters. So how do we calculate the volume of the empty space? Right? Still we are talking about the same fish tank, no? So the volume will be what? Area of base into height. Area of base into height. Right? So we are talking about the same fish tank. So the area of the base will be the same, which is 450. 450. We have to multiply that by what? 2 centimeters. Height of the empty space. 2. Right? So 450 into 2. So this is 900, but 450 that is square centimeters. 2 that is centimeters. So we get the unit as what? Cubic centimeters. In any case, we are calculating a volume, no? So the volume will be what? Cubic units. So here we have taken centimeters. So it will be 900 cubic centimeters. So if you have used this method, for this step you will be getting 1 mark. For the correct answer, you will be getting another 1 mark. Right, part 5. If Amasha decided to decorate the open end of the tank by pasting green color tape, calculate the minimum length of the tape that he needs. So what do we have to do? Right. So if you take a look at the open end of the fish tank, now imagine that you are looking over the fish tank down, standing near it and looking down the fish tank, right? So what is the shape of the open end? A rectangle, no? So in this question, what does Amasha do? So he is putting up what? Green color tape, right? Around the, where? Around the open end. So what do we have to do? What is the shape of the open end? A rectangle. So here, what do we have to do? We have to calculate the total length of the rectangle. So what is that? Perimeter of the rectangle, right? Okay. So the length of the rectangle is what? 30 centimeters. Width of the rectangle is also what? 15 centimeters. So how do we calculate the perimeter? Take 30 add 15 to it, then multiply it by 2. 13 plus 15, that is 45. 45 into 2, that is 90. So, what is the minimum length of the tape? 90 centimeters. Right, so this is the marks breakdown for question number 7. So, mainly question number 7 has 5 parts. Part 1, it has 2 parts. So, each of them, you will be getting 1 mark each, right? So, there you will be getting a total of 2 marks, right? Part 2, same thing, right? You will be getting 1 mark each for correct response. So for part 2, the total marks are 2 marks. Part 3, you will be having only having 1 part. So 2 marks for that. Part 4, 2 parts, you will be getting 1 mark for each of them. So the total marks for part 4 is what? 2 marks. Part 5, so you have 3 parts there, right? You will be getting 1 mark each for correct response, right? So the total marks for part 5 is what? 3 marks. So when we add all of these marks together, you will be getting 11 marks.